open.
Oh, get on it.
Oh.
Three times.
You got to bang it.
There you go.
Okay, we call this meeting to order. The Ogden City Council meeting of April 2nd, 2019. We have all council members present with the exception of Councilmember Lopez, who's asked to be excused, and Chair Nadolski as well. I've asked Councilmember Blair to do the pledge.
Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Now I ask that you join us in a moment of silence. Thank you. We have a couple of recognitions tonight. The first being On Stage Ogden, and Councilmember Blair is going to read that.
Yes. Thank you, Vice Chair Chaburka. This is actually the second time I've got to read this, so this is exciting. It reads, the Ogden City Council and Mayor proudly recognize On Stage Ogden for providing invaluable contributions to the Ogden community. Since 1949, On Stage Ogden has provided world-class music and dance performances in Ogden City. In celebration of 70 years as Northern Utah's premier performing arts presenting organization, we proudly recognize them for their rich history and invaluable contributions to the vibrant arts community of Ogden. The many successes of On Stage Ogden could not have been possible without the forward-thinking and boundary-defying female leaders including Jean Pell, Mrs. Paul T. Coons, Susie Patterson, Kathleen Browning, Mrs. Frank B. Ellis, Barbara Taylor, Talitha E. Lindquist, Shirley Hemingway, Sharon McFarland, and so many more. In recent years, several education and outreach programs have captured the attention of Ogden's youth and underserved populations to ensure that a passion, appreciation, and love for the classical arts continues. We congratulate On Stage Ogden as they celebrate 70 years and extend our appreciation to the organization as it continues to present only the finest music and dance performances in Ogden. And nope. With that, we have Taylor Knuth.
Melissa
better.
Klein.
Melissa.
Yeah, Melissa Klein.
Sorry. Come on up. That'd be great.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody. Oh, I got my shirt.
I didn't bring my shirt.
This will be the most size proportionate video picture.
I know, ever.
Yeah, everybody. Everybody should come.
Yeah.
Put the Collins on the end.
You're the bookend, huh?
Very awesome. Everybody.
Can you see my shirt? It's new.
Yeah.
The shirt is what matters, right?
It's new.
I want to be 30. A little bit. There we go. There we go. Okay. Perfect. Did you want to? Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thanks so much for coming.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'll wait, Taylor.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the t-shirt too. It's awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I'll get you.
Would you like to say anything, Melissa?
Do I have time?
You may.
have time.
Please, if you'd like to.
Just really quickly. I just want to thank everyone, and I want to thank you also for representing us at our ribbon cutting. It was very exciting. If you haven't heard, we rebranded recently, which is very exciting. Ogden Symphony Ballet Association for 70 years and now On Stage Ogden. And we couldn't do it without a legacy of wonderful leaders, including Sharon McFarland, who's here today, and our board president, Dr. Robert Fudge. So I just have to thank them for helping us as well. So thank you for being a part of it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
great. And now we have a recognition for the Boys and Girls Club of Weber Davis, recognizing the 2018 Youth of the Year. And council member Heyer is going to read that.
Yes, thank you, Acting Chair Chawarka. She likes it when we call her by her title. It's my honor to make this recognition. The Ogden City Council and Mayor proudly recognize Elizabeth Figueroa Torres for providing invaluable contributions to the Ogden community. An exceptional student and active member of her community, Elizabeth was selected as the 2018 Youth of the Year by the Boys and Girls Club of Weber and Davis. While attending Odyssey Elementary, Elizabeth was one of 3 students selected to participate in the Weber State University Preparatory Academy. At the age of 14, her peers at the Ogden Teen Club elected her as Keystone President. Elizabeth is a freshman in high school, has a strong GPA, and plays the trumpet in Mount Ogden's orchestra. A member of the Boys and Girls Club for 8 years, Elizabeth is known for her leadership and strong desire to serve others. She hopes to become a nurse and help those who need her most. We congratulate her for her impressive accomplishments, for the well-deserved recognition as Youth of the Year, and wish her the best in her future endeavors. This is presented the 2nd day of April, 2019. Elizabeth. Should we just, come over here again?
Yeah. Sorry, like your chair out of the way.
Thank you. Do you want me to?
Congratulations.
This one's for you.
Thank you.
Everybody come up and get to take a picture.
How about, what is this? I'll take that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Congratulations.
How are you? Yeah, we're all kind of even as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, that sounds great. No?
Everybody shift this way a little bit.
That guy's too tall.
I know, yeah.
Right there's too tall. Oh.
There you go.
Can you see everybody
Like
that?
We'll shift.
Yeah, we can stand our tippy tip.
You're good.
We've had those football.
Yeah, I'm committed to it. Okay, here we go. All right, look in here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, beautiful.
All right.
Anybody else?
Are you shaking?
I can shake again.
All right.
Hey,
thank you.
Oh, that's so
Okay.
nice of you. Presents.
Okay.
Let's get a picture with those glasses on.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
This was cool.
Oh, hey, yeah. That'll keep
Thank
you
you.
focused.
Oh, that will definitely be helpful.
Yep. Now I can focus.
That's what I thought while you were eating.
Yep, that'll help me.
That's a great idea.
Well, I just want to say thank you for having me. And it's crazy, that's my name. And I want to just say thank you, especially to the people that came with me. Michelle, one of my friends who attends Boys and Girls Club with me, has helped me with struggles. And she's just so amazing. And it's great growing with her. She's truly amazing. And Linda, one of the staff members, has pushed me to my limits. And she showed me the person who I can become. And she's never it's just so surreal. It's crazy. And I want to thank Maddie because she's never letting me fall in. And she's shown me just to always push forward. And I want to say a special thanks to my mom because she shaped me to the woman I am today. And I'm just so grateful for her. Thank you guys. It's crazy. You guys are amazing. The love I get from you guys is crazy. I feel so supported. And I want to thank the Boys and Girls Club for giving me a safe place to be. Just thank you.
Thanks, Elizabeth.
And I just wanted to quickly announce, everybody has an invitation. Next week is our annual National Boys and Girls Club Week. And so we have really great things going on each day. And if you would like to come out and actually see Elizabeth at the club or what we do over at the Marshall White Center, Linda Yost's phone number is on there, and you can just call her and let her know which day you're thinking of coming. We also have the programs at Odyssey, Newbridge, and Hillcrest. We are opening up a new site out in South Ogden, so that'll be taking place on Thursday. And then on Friday, we do a whole organization-wide food truck festival out in Roy, in the Roy City parking lot. And then we have what we call our Create at the Club program. Kids from all over Weber County will come in there and they'll perform at 6 o'clock on Friday night. So it's a really fun week, but we really strongly encourage you to get out to one of our Ogden clubs so that you guys can see the magic firsthand from the kids. And it's just really cool. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Wow, it's a great week to be substitute chairing.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is awesome. Does anybody have any comments about those two recognitions before we move on?
I got to say, when you see a youth that has worked hard and has really accomplished something, I think they probably don't understand the full impact of their example on other youth. I'm so happy to recognize someone who has a real good work ethic. You're not just lucky. I think it's because you've worked hard. And that's what we'd like to instill in our youth is a good hard work ethic. And kudos to you. We're just happy that you're here.
Any other comments?
Well, as a trumpeter, she is destined to be in
On stage.
on stage. I was almost going to say the orchestra, but kudos to you as well. And I echo what Councilmember Heyer says, and we need a lot of youth, and it's that drop that goes out, and it just kind of keeps spreading and going out. And so thank you for doing that and being a keystone member of our community. I was trying to play on your presidency there. Didn't work so well.
Any other comments? Okay, well, I just want to echo those things. I mean, both of those organizations are so valuable to the community in different ways, but I really appreciate Onstage Ogden's commitment to reaching out to the students of Ogden and Weber County to help to show them examples of things that you can be when you grow up and to expose them to the arts and performance. And Boys and Girls Club, of course, I respect and honor your work so much with students and love seeing their faces here to celebrate their successes too. Thank you so much. Yep. Great. And so next we have a request to be on the agenda from the Elizabeth Stewart Treehouse Museum. I think we have the Executive Director, Lynn Goodwin, and a couple of other representatives here. Cherry Walker, a board member, or board chair, and Bob Herman, the board member. Great. I don't know if there's one other person to introduce.
Yep. We'll introduce as we go along,
great.
if that's
Thank
okay.
you so much.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Lynn Goodwin, and I am the founding director of Treehouse Children's Museum. And with me, as the vice chair mentioned, we have Sherry Walker, who is our board chair, and then two other folks with us that we'll introduce in a little bit. We're so pleased to be here representing Treehouse, and you know us. We are a fixture in Ogden, have been for a long time, 27 years, as a matter of fact, since we opened our doors in Ogden, in the Ogden City Mall. And as you're aware, we provide a lot of services to a lot of children and families, so it's wonderful to be able to come and give you, as a city council, an update on where we're at and what we're thinking about for the future. And I want to thank especially Doug Stevens, Councilman Stevens, for suggesting that we come tonight and present this to you. It's fun to be able to get out and share the plan for the future. And we've given you a packet of information that has a lot more than we're going to have time to go through tonight. A lot of detail about the project, including the budget and the timeline, and a lot of information about Treehouse, which we hope you'll review when you have a moment. And keeping in mind that it is kind of tentative because we're still in the early stages of what we're trying to do. Here is a quick snapshot of Treehouse by the numbers. As I mentioned, we opened in 1992, and we were in the Ogden City Mall. We were the last unoccupied space in the mall at that time, and we had 40,000 visitors in our first year. But by our second year, the mall started to change, as you probably knew. And over the next years, Treehouse was able to homestead in the mall, and we doubled our size and doubled our attendance. But by the time we were hitting our 10th anniversary in the mall was pretty much empty, and we were sort of the last man standing. And 2006 was a big year for us because that's when we were able to finish and complete and move into our permanent home on 22nd Street in Kiesel. And it's also an important year because it could have easily been the last year of Treehouse. When the mall closed, it was kind of a touch and go thing for Treehouse, but the mayor at the time and the city council at the time recognized the value of the museum and made an appropriation to us through special RDA funding so that we could have money to move to a temporary location and to then relocate eventually to the Junction development. And we were the very first building, 29,000 square foot building that went up. And when we built it, people said, it's so huge. Why do you need such a big building? And then when they started building around us, everyone said, it's so small. Why didn't you build bigger? But it was a lovely signature building that was totally built by the community and from contributions and support from the community. We now get 175,000 visitors a year to the museum. That was originally designed to accommodate about 125,000 visitors. So we have done way better than we projected we would. And our attendance continues to grow. We have 13,500 children and adults who are current active members of the museum, including about 400 families or about 1,500 children and parents who have sponsored memberships that they get through Head Start or through Title I based on grants that Treehouse works with our partner organizations to write to fund those, because we want everybody to be able to come. We also serve 23,000 students and chaperones at the museum every year, and we are proud of those numbers, and Sherry is going to show you a little bit more of what we look like.
Thank you. My name is Sherry Walker, and I am chair of the Board of Trustees. And I have the fun task of sharing with you the fun things that we do at the Treehouse. Those of you who've had an opportunity to come, I'm sure you know how much fun we do have over there. So, there we go. One of the things that we have been locally and nationally recognized for are the participlays that we have at the Treehouse. Participlays are something that were invented as an improvisational theater for children to participate in a story and be a part of that literature and help act out the story. Children who come on field trips, every single field trip does the participlay so that these children have an opportunity to be a part of this story and understand what it's like to be up front. We share our stories, from stories that come from around the world and stories that are written also by the Treehouse staff. Lynn would not tell you, but she's an exemplary storyteller, and she comes up with some of the most brilliant ideas for some of the fun plays that we have with our children and families to share. Our families love to come and share these programs. These are things that are something that you feel like your children are really participating and are part of as they go through the museum. They're not just being entertained. They get to be part of this experience. One of the fun activities that children and the school classes come to are the art garden opportunities that they have. You can do this if you're just there visiting as a member of the Treehouse, or you can do this as you come through with the school programs. And these are very popular. As I arrived today to get ready for our meeting this afternoon, I saw half a dozen children leaving with butterflies, so there is hope for spring today. Our school tours that are participated in by many of the school districts here in the northern part of the state are for 2 hours. They spend 90 minutes in teaching and learning about literature and stories around the world and the activities and the exhibits that we have. And then they have about 30 minutes of exploration time. They come with their teachers and their chaperones. We offer 7 different tours for educators throughout the year. We have had more and more requests for tours, and we are at an overcapacity and able to fulfill these tours. It's sad to say we're actually having to turn some schools away because we're booked, which is a good thing to have. So we have exhibits that are interactive. One of our fun ones upstairs is the diner, Jack's Diner. The children love to interact and act out those parts and playing with their families and learning how to communicate with them. The children have a great deal of fun, and our biggest task is getting our parents to put their telephones down and interact with their children because the children are having such a great time. Even our tiny ones in our little baby hospital, they love to participate, and it's fun to see them come out of their shell and be able to communicate with these little activities that we have in the treehouse and let them participate in things that just even the bigger kids enjoy doing. This is something we're very proud of. This last year, we have completed our newest exhibit. It's our biggest one, and we think it's one of our most spectacular. This is Walk in the Woods exhibit. It is a 2,000 square foot exhibit that we have, hand-painted murals that depicts the wildlife and the habitat in Utah. We have dimensional cutouts of the birds and the animals and things that are indigenous to our area, and we're really proud of this. There are costumes, a cave with a mama bear and a baby bear. We have Ashley Wolf, who helped participate as our residence, I guess is a good way to call her, artist that has helped us through our baby bear project. And she has done a lot of this. Also, our staff at Treehouse, we have some really amazing artists at the Treehouse. Some of you may recognize this sweet lady. She's the most famous kindergarten teacher in the world. This is Miss Bindergarten. And Miss Bindergarten program is something that we are very proud of. Believe it or not, it's been 7 years since we've been doing Miss Bindergarten. We went to the legislature and received funding to do our Miss Bindergarten project, which is a project that we take to many of our northern schools, school districts here, and they get ready for kindergarten with Miss Bindergarten. So we attend their spring kindergarten roundups. We help with the testing and getting them ready so that they can have an activity that they can do all through the summertime with their families. And then they earn the opportunity in August to come to the celebration and say, I've worked all summer with my family. I'm ready for kindergarten. So we know that you have seen our Miss Bindergarten program, but it is a huge success. We have served over 50,000 children with our Miss Bindergarten program, and we just received some more funding last year, so we're ongoing for another 3 years with it. And we are very busy this spring with our Miss Bindergarten appointments. Treehouse is a busy, happy place. We were designed, as Lynn said, for 125,000 visitors in about 19,000 square feet of public exhibit space. And now that we have reached 175,000 and we're still growing, we are starting to see that we need to do something to go on into the future. So, Lynn.
I get the fun part of telling you why we're doing this. One of the things that happens a lot at Treehouse is we get instant feedback from parents and teachers who tell us what we should be doing in the future. And we also ask them through evaluations and comment cards. And it's always the same. They want more exhibits, more programs. They want spaces for older children, especially ages 8 through 12. We're really great with the younger children, but love to do even more for the older kids. They really want to focus now on STEM subjects. They want traveling exhibit space. We brought in a few, but we can't now because we don't have room to bring any in without taking something out that's meant to be permanent. We don't have a classroom and a flex space so that when we do those school tours for 23,000 kids, they're out in the exhibit space when families are there, and noise is sometimes a big factor. They want more theater. They want more art. They want more music. And we know that we need a freight elevator. We're tired of lugging exhibits upstairs and downstairs, and we need a lot more storage. We have to rent 5 storage units offsite to handle our storage that we've collected over the years. So good reasons why we need to make a change. And Sherry, again, is going to show you the solution.
I'm really excited because I get to show the fun part of this. All right, let's look at our solution. Here's our solution. On January 15th of this year, we signed our purchase of the property on 22nd Street for our expansion, just between the treehouse, which you see if you'll look at that picture there, the corner that shows the entrance to the treehouse, and then to the west is the Family Search Center that is just being completed. That property in between is now ours, complete and paid for, which we are so excited about. Now we have to do something with that. So we have been working with Bob Herman and Sophia Malik of EDA Architects. And if you'll take a look at the shaded part, the gray area with the open space in the middle, this is what we would like to do for our expansion on the treehouse. This will be a wing that will be connected to the treehouse, and it will literally double the size of what we have, which doubles the capacity and double the fun, right? So here's the best part. This is my favorite picture of all. This is what we're thinking it'll look like. We want it to look like a grand appearance as you're looking from 22nd Street south. So this is facing north, and we have new entrances, and I'm not going to say any more about it because I'm not the architect. I just look at the pictures and say, these are awesome. So I'm going to let Bob and Sophia tell you about those.
Thanks, Sherry. As you can see from the 22nd Street view to the building, one of the main objectives of this addition, which actually is sort of like a book that unfolds along the street there, so it's almost exactly double the size of the existing facility, is really creating a beautiful new entrance for the facility that can be viewed not only traveling east and west along 22nd Street, but can be actually entered from those areas as well. And obviously one of the things that we tried to do is really to create a lot of transparency, because what is really wonderful about Treehouse is all of the great things that go on the inside of the building. This is a close-up view of that principal facade of the building, indicating how we're actually going to be treating the structural elements, the columns that hold up the grand canopy out in front, which is going to be articulated like trees. Similar to obviously Treehouse, but also the abstract trees that currently are on the facility. Behind it, you can see some of the materials that we're going to be using. We'll be using a material that will reflect the diamond pattern that is on the existing building. And what you can see then beyond is this new main lobby area, which will be highly transparent. And this will be the element that people will be able to, gravitate through additional signage, for the building. This is a floor plan showing the building, and 22nd Street would be at the top. So we're looking north at the top of the drawing there, and you can see the existing museum on the right side, and on the opposite side is the addition. This element through the center of it that's indicated in yellow is the new public space of the building. So you saw the lobby, which is the top portion of the T, with the new entrances that come into that, which is where people will gather before coming into the museum. And then through the center of it will be a new atrium space, a two-story space from which all of the gallery spaces and other activity areas of Treehouse will unfold. At the end of that will be a grand staircase that will then take you up to the upper floor. This is a view looking down that atrium space, and what you see here is really the ability of being able to see almost entirely through it, through the museum, which gives you a great user experience in terms of orientation. And what you begin to see kind of unfolding from either side is the new art garden, the sort of a retrofitted theater space that's currently there, and you'll be able to see up through the two stories to a skylight, which will, provide natural light through the entire space. So I'm going to have Sophia Malik come up now and actually walk you through some of the other kind of key elements of the project.
So one of the things that we're exploring as we're kind of looking at the project is, how are we kind of creating entryway into this building? Obviously, we've mentioned the T, which is a really key atrium lobby space element, but we kind of realized that to the southwest is going to be our primary parking structure. So people are going to need this kind of sense of entry as they enter from the south. So we've introduced this covered walkway that you see to the west that kind of abuts the Family Search Center. And we wanted to create this very landscaped, beautiful area that, people with strollers, families can kind of walk through and come in on that west entrance. So this would be something that, Lynn has thrown out some really great ideas for Yellow Brick Road and things like that, that could be something that ties into this storytelling as you come into the building itself through the covered walkway. One of the elements that we're really excited about, as you come into the space, you pass by the theater and some of the things that Bob mentioned, the art studio. But there is this internal courtyard, this double height space that we've introduced in the building that actually connects back to the main tree that you see this large arrow pointing to. So you kind of get this really great sense of connection to the old building, to this new building, and also this really awesome courtyard space that we're thinking could have really interesting functions such as, outdoor play areas, story time could be out there. So there's almost like a secret garden element. So it's completely secure and fenced in, but it's open to, the exhibit spaces that are just near it, such as the classroom space, the art studio, and then obviously the main circulation. Moving upstairs, we wanted to show that we're actually expanding and growing, as Lynn was saying, to be geared towards serving that 8 through 12 grade of students or, people that would be visiting this museum. So we have this kind of expanded science cafe area that we want to introduce as an exhibit space. We have kind of the Utah American maps and things like that that are geared more towards older children. So those spaces would kind of be, in these highlighted areas. It's a huge amount of space, which is great. And then just to the south, we have currently the Storybook Theater, which is in the main building, but we're looking to kind of expand that into having a secondary black box theater space where, if there's a school group or something happening on the first floor, that this could be a place where there could be other events for the main, people who are just coming in to visit the museum to utilize. And obviously other things that we've kind of thought about for this new space are amenities that people need. I mean, we're bringing back this music space that was taken away from the old building to be in a more enclosed space so that it could be, a lot friendlier to patrons who are using, the rest of the building so that it's not loud. Things like a mother's room, expanded restrooms, an expanded administration area. And one of the things that we're really excited about, because this entry space, the current entry space is going to be taken over kind of more by theater storage and support spaces. But on the upstairs level, we're adding in what we're calling like a grand party room. So it's going to be a huge space that families can come and rent out or people can use for, classroom space or things like that. But it has beautiful views to the northeast. And we just think that that's going to be a really, really awesome element for this, building. And we're just so excited to be working on this project. It's such a wonderful thing for Ogden. We're just happy to be a part of it. So I'll turn it back over to Lynn.
I will wrap up quickly and then take questions. It is Treehouse all grown up, which is an exciting thing. And we are planning with this building, if we can do the expansion, we'll be able to serve 350,000 visitors a year, double what we're doing now. 45,000 school children coming to the museum, double, again, what we're doing currently. And it's important to keep in mind that this isn't some big pie in the sky dream. Treehouse is real. We've made it work for 27 years. We're a tried and true project, so we know that we can do it. We bring literally hundreds of thousands of children and parents into downtown Ogden every year who support the city economically. And we're just happy to share this idea with you and then to ask for your support, not only of the idea and the project, but to look at ways perhaps that you as a city council could look at financial support through RDA funding or other special funding as the city council did for us when we needed our first permanent home. And we are excited about the chance to grow, we think, and you, I hope, recognize the fact that the children in Ogden need a place like this. And we are excited to grow up a little bit in Ogden. So thank you for inviting us, and we're happy to take any questions. That was a lot of material, but we have a lot of excitement about it.
Are there any questions?
I did just want to point out that Bob Herman is one of our planning commissioners and does a lot of good volunteer work for the city as well. And he does some good work for the Treehouse, and we're happy about that.
Bob's been on our board for a long time at Treehouse, so we're very grateful for his help.
What's the amount of the funding that you would need for this project?
It'll be about $12 million. That includes a soft costs and contingency fund. When we built our current building, it was about $6.5 million in 2006, and everything's gone up.
Right on my check.
And, yeah,
Okay.
it's about $12 million. So, and there is a budget breakdown in the packet of material and a timeline kind of to show you where we're thinking. We already have pledges for $1.5 million, and we have some meetings coming up with some other donors. So we're going to be fundraising hard over the next couple of years.
And you said you purchased the property, so is it just purchased completely, or you
purchased completely?
Oh.
Yeah, and we own our current building and the property it's on too without a mortgage. So we would like to be able to do that again. And if we can raise half the money, then we'll take out a construction loan and begin the building of the wing, and then continue to raise money, because our goal is to really. The dream is to get it done and built and open by 2022 when Treehouse turns 30. Be awesome.
So the parking, I guess it'll be there to the southwest of the building a little bit?
Right, in the parking terrace, which is where the
Okay.
bulk of our visitors probably park now, there and
Okay.
along the street.
All right.
Yeah.
And I guess that little street that's just currently to the west of your building will move.
It will be gone.
Okay.
Yeah, we actually own that street, but we'll just build right over it because we want it to be a connected
Yeah.
facility.
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
Yeah,
Good job.
it's going to be a world-class
The
facility.
renderings are awesome, Bob.
Just a quick comment. I think I applaud you for what you do. I know that you spend a lot of time with kids in arts and, building an arts program, but, building the STEM program around that or the STEAM, if you will. And I just think kids need that foundation, and you do such a great job. And if you can offer that to twice as many more kids and their families, that's awesome. So.
And I can't wait to do the science. My background is actually in science museums and planetariums before I started at Treehouse. So I would love to do some science more than we do.
I think the main objective is that we've already catered to the younger group, but we want to cater to the more middle age or older group of children, which I think is an asset to not only the families, but also the education and the city in whole.
Totally.
Any other comments?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I spent many, many hours in that tree and in that building, so I know it well. But I'm excited to see that new exhibit too.
Vice Chair?
Yes.
I recall the first facility in the Ogden Mall there at the lower level. That may be dating me a little bit, but that was there. And my grandkids, I had 4 grandkids visit it today. It's lucky it's still built, but it is an asset. When I went to a couple of months ago and was with my grandkids in the treehouse, Lynn came and says, we have some ideas that we'd like to present. And she showed me the plans and she showed me what their vision would be. And I was just thinking that this is a project that needs the support of Ogden City and the communities around Weber County. They generate capacity in 1 year, 175,000 people coming into the Ogden area, contributing to our economic development and adding to our tax base. After this unit is complete, they project 350,000. If we had all businesses generate that, we'd be overwhelmed, surely. But the main core of the treehouse is that it's family oriented, and that they want to make sure that the older children can enjoy it as they grow older through that experience. I just think it's a project worth looking at and being very supportive in that capacity. Every Christmas we present to our families, our immediate family, the kids that are in there passes to go to the treehouse because of the environment that they're in and the things that they get to participate in, and they can be kids. In fact, if you go there as an adult, you can be a kid too as you enjoy the treehouse. So I think it's worthwhile to look at some aspects of supporting this project because it is a gem not only in our city, and it adds to our capacity of the junction.
Any other comments? Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you again so much for providing that detailed report. It's exciting. Okay, so next we have the common consent agenda. We have a vacation of Stewart Drive from 1050 South to 12th Street to set a public hearing for April 16, 2019. And then we also have the 2018 Moderate Income Housing Report. Do we need to do those? We can do it all together, right?
Yep, Chair or Acting Chair.
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion that we adopt the common consent agenda as it is listed.
Thank you.
Second.
So we have a motion by Councilmember Heyer and a second by Councilmember Blair. And that's a voice vote.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Aye.
Any opposed?
Any opposed?
Good job.
All right. I made it. Okay, thank you. It looks like that passed. And now we have time for public comments. So this is an opportunity to address the council regarding any concerns or ideas on any topic. We just ask that you limit your response to 3 minutes.
Now's your big chance.
Want an additional 3 minutes? I'm not seeing any movement from the crowd. It's thinned a little bit since the first things, right? Any comments from the mayor's office?
Not tonight, thank you.
Oh, thank you. Any comments from the council members?
Great job on your first night.
No, that's great.
Well, it's not over yet.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. Thank
I think you're coming down the stretch.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're on the good side.
The only comment I have is that I was able to, I had some time today and really excited that I was able to attend the swearing-in ceremony for the firefighters. We have 7 brand new firefighters, and it was just really inspiring to watch that class get their badges, and yeah, it was really great. So I appreciate that they're willing to serve in Ogden City. It was really great.
Awesome.
All right, looks like we might be ready.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Second.
Oh, second, sorry.
Tell the motion.
Oh, a motion by Councilmember Heyer and a second by Councilmember White to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we did it. Thank you.
You did it.
Yep, you're done now.
Woo.